So look, I want to ask you. Here's the first thing I want to ask you. I want to talk about your history on YouTube first, because this is not your first YouTube channel. You had a YouTube channel before this, correct?
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that, what you used to do on YouTube back in the day?
Sure. I'm 28, so I've watched YouTube since its existence, when Smosh was #1, when Fred was #1, when Ray William Johnson was #1. So I watched a ton of YouTube. I'd say like at least 8 hours a day I'd be watching YouTube. Still today, I watch around that much YouTube a day. The very first thing I used to do was I used to do a thing called edits. Now, edits aren't super popular anymore in terms of what they used to be. Tell me if you've heard of this before. You see like a cartoon on YouTube, like Dora the Explorer or like SpongeBob or something like that. And the person that posted the video replaced the words with like bad words. Yep. That's what I used to make. I used to make edits for the show Ed, Edd n Eddy, because that was my favorite cartoon growing up. Yeah. So that was they were horrible. I mean, they were really bad. But that was like what I first started doing, was I'm like, it's funny to make them say swear words. And to say something like, it was all songs from like Afro Man and like Tenacious D. So anything you can think of, if I could find a sound bite of a swear word, I was putting that in the video.
How are you getting the sound bites back then? Because in those days, like, there weren't a lot of, as far as I remember, there weren't a lot of like YouTube to MP3 converters back then.
I used, I think I used like a YouTube downloader, and I downloaded the videos. No. It was like, no, LimeWire wouldn't even do that. LimeWire did like music and stuff like that. But I guess you're right, you could have done that, but I didn't even know the sources of these songs and stuff like that. I only knew this. Sorry, that's my phone going off.
You're good.
I only knew it from, there was this one channel. Oh man. I think his name was like Klugluslo. He was like the first one to popularize the edit genre. And I just kind of like, I cropped the parts where the word was played, even though it wouldn't be a perfect crop. I would just like copy paste that into Window Movie Maker, and that's how I did it, I guess.
I see.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question, because you and I are about the same age. I remember YouTube from its infancy way back then as well. Did you ever make AMVs?
So funny enough, with the edits that I mentioned, there would be a time where randomly in the video, I would add a random song I was into back then into the video. It wasn't an AMV. It wasn't like highly chopped up and edited and stuff like that. But I would insert like a random song in some of these videos. These videos are lost to time, by the way. I don't think I'll ever be able to find those.
Right.
But I used to watch them. My friend, when I lived in Pennsylvania, he showed me a Naruto music video. It was Enter Sandman by Metallica, and it was a Gaara music video. Again, this was like 15, it's still on YouTube to this day. It was like 15, 16 years ago. And I just remember being blown away by it.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, that's nuts. And now, today's day and age with videos, I mean, I don't know if you know Trash or like Trash Gang or anything like that.
No.
Basically, they make anime music videos, and they're like super highly edited and stuff like that. They actually used to follow me on Twitter. They promote a lot of smaller music artists like Josh A and Jake Hill, Suicide Boys. Well, they're not small, but they used to be. Ghostmane. Ghostmane, I think, blew up on Trash, actually, believe it or not. He has like 250 million views on his songs from that channel. So,
oh wow.
Yeah, they just do like they do promotions and stuff like that.
That's wild. I remember some of my earliest YouTube videos were AMVs. I used to do Transformers content, and then this channel that I have right here is that channel. But I repurposed it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I repurposed it to do the Fortnite stuff about a year and a half ago. But I used to do Transformer AMVs. I would take like a bunch of pictures and stuff, and then I'd put like what was it? Like Breaking Benjamin or Drowning Pool. I went through the whole emo phase. I remember that. Yeah. So when you're talking about like I remember, it's just like it's a nostalgia thing, right? Because you had to be there, like at YouTube during that time. It was such a different place. Like
you had to be there.
Like everybody was like and that was like it's so interesting because it's like it's a lot of content creators early stages of development for like what they would become later on.
Oh yeah.
But now correct me if I'm wrong, but you didn't stop there. You also started uploading movies to YouTube as well, correct?
I did. I was like, I found this one website. I think it was like called True Media, or like it had like a green logo, and basically it allowed me to render out my videos past 10 minutes or something like that. I know I could have probably done Windows Movie Maker, but I guess like the quality was too bad. So it was like something True Media. I genuinely don't remember what it was called, but yeah, I used to upload like the Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie. I uploaded like Click. I think I uploaded something else. I can't remember because this was years ago, mind you. And they banned me, and I got upset. I'm like, why? Like, why would you ban me? I was just
uploading
wrong.
copywritten content. Like, what? Come on, guys. Really?
Back then, they didn't have that harsh of a copyright system back then. I remember I think my most popular video was a re-upload of the T-Pain song Low.
Oh wow!
I think it literally got like 100K views. I'm like, yeah, this video is popping. I didn't have to do anything. I just had a picture of him and just the song, and it was in horrible quality.
It didn't matter back then. Everything was like 90% of the videos were horrible quality back then. Nobody cared about. There was no 1080p, bro. 320. If you get 320 on a YouTube video back then, you were a savage. Like, but
it was a time.
But the reason why I'm bringing this up is so the point I'm trying to make is you've been doing YouTube itself for a while. But how when you were doing the edits and then the movie stuff, how old were you roughly when you were doing all that?
Oh my God, I was still in middle school when I was doing the edits, because I remember very vividly. This is an embarrassing story, but there was this girl at my school I liked, and I got made fun of a lot in middle school. I did not have many friends, and these kids, they came up to me. I don't think I've ever told this story before, but they came up to me and they're like, hey, I don't want to say her name, even though I don't know her last name. I'll just say like Claire, for example. And they were like, hey, did you know that Claire wants to go out on a date with you? And I'm like, oh snap, really? Yo, that's awesome. So then I don't even go to her about it because she wasn't there. And I made an edit that day, and at the end of the video, I am so embarrassed that I'm thinking about this right now, but at the end of the video, I put like, shout out to Claire, my new girlfriend. Even though we never actually went out on the date. And then the next day,
oh my God,
she came to me. She's like, hey, so I know some of the kids told you that I was interested in you. They were lying. Damn. And I'm like, oh, okay. Damn. Yeah, no problem. Damn. Yeah, that was horrible.
My heart.
I was in middle school. I used to get bullied so much in school.
Oh my God, bro. I could talk to you for hours about embarrassing shit like that happened to me. Chat, listen, here's the deal, okay? A lot of y'all are about that age right now. Take notes. Don't do that. That is not Riz. No. That is not how that works. Also,
no, I was...
Oh God,
it was bad. I was very I was a late bloomer as well, and I was very sheltered and protected as a kid. I still am, honestly. I'm pretty sheltered now, but I couldn't read signs. Like I couldn't read like, oh, they were fucking with me, or something like that. Like I didn't get that vibe. I got like, oh, they wouldn't lie to me, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah, they would. So I don't know. I fell for anything. You told me the sky was green, I would have told you I believe you.
Right.
Like back then, I was just very susceptible to that, and yeah, I learned over time that like, yeah, not to fall for stuff like that.
But see, that's the thing though. Like, and this is what people have to understand. It's like that's part of the game when you're growing as a young adult, right? Especially as a young man, like you're trying to figure yourself out. You're trying to figure out, how to talk to young girls and so you think that doing like overly cutesy shit is gonna win her over, and then after you do it over and over and over again, you find out, wow, this really doesn't work out as well as I thought it was going to. This is kind of embarrassing.